Deadly wars have forced millions to flee their homes and make the dangerous journey to build a new life elsewhere. Children are often the most vulnerable victims of war. With so many orphaned or deprived of an education, is the world risking a lost generation? Protracted wars in places like Syria, Sudan and Afghanistan have caused a humanitarian crisis. Forced displacement hit a record 63.5 million in 2016, the highest in recorded human history.
It is really a hell on ground for the children. It is very difficult. There are bombardments, they are scared, they are seeing death and violence at a scale that you would hope no child would see.
The UN says half of the world's refugees are children, and many are making the journey alone, leaving them open to exploitation by people traffickers. In 2016, 26,000 child refugees arrived in Italy. 91% were said to be unaccompanied. 3/4 of 14 to 17-year-olds who arrived in Italy that year reported being held against their will or forced to work. And in 2015, 10,000 unaccompanied migrant children disappeared within hours of being registered in the EU. Only a handful have been found since. Others stayed in camps lacking sanitation, where they are reported to face the risk of sexual exploitation. With no end in sight for the wars displacing so many people, the child refugee crisis threatens to get worse. The migrant crisis is political dynamite in the EU. German Chancellor Angela Merkel accepted 1 million refugees in 2015.
Ich muss ganz ehrlich sagen, wenn wir jetzt anfangen, uns noch entschuldigen zu müssen dafür, dass wir in Notsituationen ein freundliches Gesicht zeigen, dann ist das nicht mein Land.
But there was a political price to pay. The far-right AfD made huge gains in German elections last year, running on an anti-migrant message. Other far-right parties have surged at elections across the EU, exploiting fears about mass migration. Hungary's Viktor Orbán put up a fence along his country's border to stop migrants. And the closure of borders by some EU members has deprived thousands of unaccompanied children of safer and legal routes to asylum, leaving some minors as a target for traffickers or using illegal routes to reach their destination. Others are forced into child labour to pay their travel expenses. The crisis of child refugees cannot be ignored, but is a divided world collectively doing enough to solve the issue? Without proper protection, thousands of unaccompanied children will continue to risk exploitation and death.